The sun was dropping low over the dusty backroads, throwing long shadows across the old biker workshop where engines growled like old memories refusing to die. And on that particular evening, a moment happened that would change two lives forever. A grizzled biker from the Hell Angels, known for his silence and scars, knelt beside his broken motorcycle, unaware that fate was about to tear open a part of his past he had spent 20 years trying to bury. It happened when a young girl, barely 20, covered in grease and wearing a mechanic's shirt too big for her, looked at the faded tattoo on his arm, and whispered the words that made the biker go still as stone, "Hello, sir, my older sister has that tattoo too." The biker's breath caught. His eyes lifted slowly. And the world seemed to stop moving. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected miracles, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes. Your support keeps these real feeling stories alive. The biker, known simply as Ridge, had roared into the workshop earlier that day with a broken front fork and a heart heavier than his motorcycle. Life had not been gentle with him. His past was full of burned bridges, angry nights, lost family, and choices that chased him like shadows. He had been drifting from town to town, fixing bikes and outrunning memories. Especially the memory of a little sister he was separated from at 15, after their mother died and social workers tore them apart. He had promised he would come back for her, but the world hardened him, and he never did. It was the one regret that never stopped aching. The girl in front of him introduced herself earlier as Mira, the new trainee who loved machines more than makeup and grease more than jewelry. She was bright, soft-spoken, and carried a strange sadness in her eyes, the kind of sadness Ridge recognized in mirrors. At first, he barely looked at her while she worked beside him, passing tools with precision, explaining what she found wrong with the bike. But when she pointed at his tattoo, two crimson wings curved around a small flame, his entire body stiffened as if struck. She said her older sister had the same tattoo. Ridge felt heat rush through his face, and his vision blurred for a moment. That tattoo wasn't common. He and his little sister had drawn it together on a torn notebook page when they were kids. They promised to get matching tattoos when they grew up, two wings protecting a tiny flame. "Because you're the flame and I'm your wings," he used to tell her whenever she cried at night. Now a stranger was telling him her sister had the same mark. Inside Ridge, something cracked, slowly, painfully, like an old lock being forced open. He tried to stay composed, but Mira kept talking, completely unaware of the storm rising inside him. She explained that her sister disappeared many years ago, when Mira was just a toddler. Their father told her the girl was taken by child services and never came back. Mira said she'd never stopped searching for her, even though she barely remembered her face, only small things, like her laugh, the way she used to braid Myra's hair, and a drawing of two wings and a flame she once sketched near Myra's crib. Ridge felt a deep tremor run through his chest. He stared at the tattoo again, his shaking hand covering it unconsciously. The sunlight hit the ink, making the red wings glow faintly. Memories he had locked away for 2 decades came rushing back, the day their mother died, the day the police came, the sound of his sister screaming his name as they dragged them apart. He tried to run after her, but a foster home swallowed him, then the streets, then the biker world. He kept the tattoo as a promise to return for her, a promise he never kept. And now this girl was telling him her sister, the one she lost, had the same mark. His voice refused to come out. All he could think was, is it possible? After all these years. Mira kept sorting parts on the ground, unaware that her words were suffocating him with hope and fear at once. She talked about how she searched online, visited old shelters, questioned people, but found nothing. She believed her sister might still be out there, somewhere, hopefully alive. Ridge's rough hands trembled. He looked at Myra's face, her eyes, her jawline, her hair falling over her cheek, and suddenly noticed something he hadn't before. She looked like her, like the girl he once carried on his shoulders, the girl who used to draw wings on his arms when they were hungry or scared. He wanted to tell her. But fear choked him. What if I'm wrong? What if I hurt her more? What if I don't deserve to be her brother anymore? So he stayed quiet, letting the weight crush him. But Mira noticed something had shifted. She looked at Ridge carefully, like she was studying an old painting. When her gaze met his, a strange recognition flickered in her eyes, as if a piece of a long-lost puzzle suddenly clicked. She whispered softly, "Sir, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." Ridge swallowed hard. For the first time in decades, his voice cracked with raw, unguarded emotion. He told her the truth, piece by trembling piece. He told her about the tattoo's meaning. About his sister. About the separation. About how he failed her. He confessed everything with the honesty of a man who no longer cared about appearing tough. As he spoke, Myra's eyes widened, her breath hitching, her hands freezing over the engine parts. And when he finally whispered the name of his sister, Mira dropped the wrench. Because it was her name. The world seemed to stop again, silent, fragile, and breathtaking. Mira covered her mouth with both hands, tears filling her eyes. Ridge couldn't move. They stared at each other, two broken souls suddenly realizing they had been searching for the same missing piece, and it was sitting right in front of them. Mira leaned forward, trembling, and touched his tattoo gently, like she was touching her childhood again. Ridge felt something inside him finally melt, releasing years of guilt and longing. They didn't speak for several moments. They didn't need to. The dusty workshop, the sinking sun, the half-repaired motorcycle, all of it faded beneath the weight of raw, overwhelming connection. Ridge reached out slowly, afraid he might scare her, but Mira didn't hesitate. She threw her arms around him with a sob so full of joy and pain that even the silence seemed to cry with her. In that dusty workshop, surrounded by tools and unfinished engines, a family lost to time finally found its way back together. If this moment touched your heart, please like the video, share it, comment, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes. Your support helps us bring more life-changing stories to you. Special request, before you go, drop a comment telling us which moment in the story moved you the most. And so, beneath the fading light of that quiet evening, two siblings, torn apart by life, held each other again. And the flame they once drew together burned brighter than ever.